I was employed for 2 years. I had a 2-year contract. It would have been renewed if I wanted to. And I was even being offered a better position in the same organization. But I was uncertain if I want to continue working there. It was away from my family, and the money was good. Everything that was coming with the job was good. It was a healthy work environment.
Yeah.
The only downside was my family.
You guys were given food even.
We were given food, we were given accommodation, we were given water, internet. Nothing was my expense. All my money I was just saving. And it was good money.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't being paid in my local currency. So even
Yeah,
better.
she was being paid in USD. So
Yes.
even that's nice. Yeah.
And it gave me a career. So I was uncertain whether I should continue with this contract or I should stop. And I had to go back and really truly feel what are the extremes on both ends. If I stop this contract, what's going to happen? The worst case scenario and the best case scenario. You know, fear actually does affect how we move when we are loving someone. Yeah. So today we're talking about uncertainty.
Yeah.
Desta, which area of your life feels the most uncertain right now?
Whew. I have so many areas I feel uncertain because I don't think life can happen with certainty. But I'll give you an example that I have been thinking about this all the time. Okay. Do I want other children, or am I okay and content with one child? That's a deep conversation to have. Oopsie, I hope this is a safe space. Maybe I can give a simpler, which would be...
Okay. You have a number of things you want to say.
Yes. Do I take my child on an international trip, or do we just stay local?
Oh.
Yeah, this I'm talking because she's still 3 months. So yeah, that's what I'm still uncertain on that.
Why wouldn't you take her? Okay, Mary, calm down.
Okay.
The area I feel the most uncertain about right now is if I should settle down in Kenya or I should keep exploring and move to another country.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And a different one, just because you gave two, is if I should get a job.
Okay, or
I continue with freelance. It's not that freelance and business life is not good. It's actually really good. It has the freedom that you want. It has the money that you want. But there's the structure that comes with having employment. So I am uncertain if I should seek employment again in a different country or I should travel and move to a different country as a freelancer.
Okay, I think I'll give my opinions as we go.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like I already feel... Maybe I should say this now before, in case this dot disappears. I feel more uncertain about choices that have permanent consequences.
Okay.
Vis-a-vis choices that have... Our content partner is here with us. Or more than uncertainty on choices where things are not necessarily permanent. For example, uncertainty on who you get married to, or where you settle, stuff like this, because those things are permanent. Do I get a tattoo? Do I not get a tattoo? That thing is permanent.
Yeah.
Do I get a BBL or not? Never. But anyway, yeah.
Wow.
That too is a permanent decision you get.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I do. Okay, very interesting. So when we look at uncertainty, what really are we afraid of? Because why you're uncertain whether you should move with your baby or travel with your baby internationally is because of a specific reason. Why you're not certain whether you want another child is for a certain reason. So what really is the root cause of being afraid of being with this decision, if it goes this way, if it goes this way? What are we really afraid of?
I think looking back, I'm afraid that 20 years later, I'll be like, shush, why did I choose not to have another baby? And then now I can't have another one. Or it can also be on the other side, oops, why did I have another baby? And so I'm in that place of making the decision.
Oh, yeah.
And then now about the other example that I've given, I'm uncertain about... Before, it was now no-brainer that you're doing an international trip. But now, the logistics of a young child are different because there's extreme temperatures, especially in this month, in July, August. There's extreme temperatures in all the countries that you think of traveling, even if they are not necessarily extreme. For example, Kenya, we are at the equator, but it's still the cold
It's
season.
still very cold,
So any
yeah.
country in East Africa or around the equator that I would want to go to still has that. Okay, for example, I would want to go to a hot place, but it's so hot.
Yeah.
Like people are even having what's it called? Like this thing happening in Europe.
Heat rush.
Not just rash, heat death.
Oh yeah, heat there's a heat wave that
Well,
is
shouldn't
killing
be
people.
laughing. Yeah, like heat waves that are killing people, things like this. So
Yeah.
I don't want to expose her to extreme temperatures that could affect her health, and that can have a longer effect more
yeah.
than the trip. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason for considering it local is in local
Yeah, it's predictable.
it's predictable and it's
Yeah.
not very different. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. On my end, whether to move to a different country, all the same, or stay in Kenya. I have been away from Kenya for 2 years, and it does have challenges. For example, you cannot just up and go and visit your family within 2 hours and go back to your house.
Yeah.
So that's something that I will have to sit with if I do decide to move to a different country. If I should seek a job or continue being freelance and being in my own business, is yes, I'll get the structure, but then I'm uncertain that I will be free to do whatever I want to do. I will also be in a healthy work environment. So those are things I'm just like,
Can we also say there's no guarantee that in that workplace will be healthy?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things that we find ourselves being afraid of, and it's not like we are even telling people that we want to be in control of, you want to be in control of the weather so that you can travel. It's not just that. Even just now before we started recording, we just talked about how you'll be uncertain about something that is so real, and then the next day you wake up, it's no longer something you're uncertain about, you're very certain about it, and it's like you're on a hunt to look for something else to be uncertain about.
Yeah.
And the purpose of this video, by the way, my name is Mary.
Oh, I'm just that.
Yeah, the purpose of this video today is to break down our uncertainties. Those two uncertainties that we've talked about right now, we're basically going to evaluate by the end of the video and see how we feel about them after we have diagnosed what really is the process going to look like if we just trust as it's going, because eventually everything works out, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I would want you to give us an example of a situation you were uncertain, but you've already overcome that scenario. And how
Okay.
did things turn out? Then I'll give an example.
Okay, good. That's a really good perspective. So I was employed for 2 years. I had a 2-year contract. It would have been renewed if I wanted to. And I was even being offered a better position in the same organization. But I was uncertain if I want to continue working there. It was away from my family, and the money was good. Everything that was coming with the job was good. It was a healthy work environment.
Yeah.
The
Accommodation
only
given,
downside
food
was
given.
my family.
You guys were given food even.
We were given food, we were given accommodation, we were given
Internet.
water, internet. Nothing was my expense. All my money I was just saving. And it was good money.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't being paid in my local currency. So
Okay.
even
She
better.
was being paid in USD, so
Yes.
even that's nice. Yeah.
And it gave me a career. So I was uncertain whether I should continue with this contract or I should stop. And I had to go back and really truly feel what are the extremes on both ends. If I stop this contract, what's going to happen? The worst case scenario and the best case scenario. And the worst case scenario is I go freelance and I don't get a job, or I don't get a source of income and I become broke. Or I start looking for a job, or I go back to my parents' house. And that was the worst case scenario. It's not that it's a bad thing to go back to your parents' house, no. It's just that I don't want to. I am an adult. I have already tasted what it feels like to be in control of your life, to have freedom, and to build your own life. So I want that to
Independency.
continue. Yeah, I enjoy independence. So I realized the worst case scenario is I will still have people who love me. It's just that I will have to start again. And I had to go back to understanding that it's not a problem to start again.
Okay.
Yeah, and that gave me peace. The best case scenario, if I stop this job, which is exactly what happened, is I will continue trusting the process and I will get clients for my freelance gigs, and that's exactly what has been happening. God has just been blessing me, and best case scenario, I will continue being independent and my trajectory of life will continue as it was even when I was employed. Well, now I'm taking care of myself and my bills. Yeah.
Right.
So I said, whatever happens, worst case scenario, I have people who love me, and best case scenario, I'm able to take care of myself. And I said, okay, fine. I'll just need to change my perspective for the negatives when the worst case scenario happens. And I said, okay, fine, let's do it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's an area that I was really uncertain about.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't able to sleep for a hot minute. I even told my boss that I'm not going to be signing my contract. Like, I'm leaving the next week. And I'm telling him on Friday. And he was so surprised. He said, but we had a meeting. Why didn't you tell me? I told him, yeah, no, I hadn't decided.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
Interesting.
sir. Yeah.
So my uncertainty, let me share in the context that is, because this is love POV and all these good things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was uncertain about, first of all, can we say that in this world, people are still figuring out what it is that we are here to do. I don't think there's someone who stands and say, I am 100% certain about my spiritual life, my all areas of life. If that's you can comment down in the comment section down below, because in this life there is exemption.
Yeah.
So you could be that person who is exempted.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's always still going to be just a moment of figuring things out.
Mm-hmm. Everyone is figuring it out.
Yeah, so I feel like everyone is they definitely have a moment of uncertainty, and I think this is the best time for you guys to share in the comment section what you are uncertain about.
Yeah.
And just by chance, if you are uncertain about where to hang out with people, we have created that for ourselves. I feel like there are people who have strength in different areas, and I feel like one area that you're very not uncertain is the activities, the social activities to do, because even as we've grown older, that has been deducted, and so I feel like you're very certain about the creating of the activities. So check in the description box. This is just me sharing for someone who's uncertain about where to meet people, where to network, and all those good things. Anyway, so on the same breath, one thing I was uncertain. So it started with me being sure that I don't want kids.
Yeah.
And then it moved to a point of uncertainty, or like weighing all my options and what I think about them and all these things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's when I entered the uncertainty box. And then so the uncertainty box was either to have a child.
Yeah.
I used to say it either 0 or 2.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
There is a thought process. She didn't
Why
just wake up.
0 is because of all the reasons I wanted to be child free. And why I said 2, because I never thought of. I enjoy my siblings so much that I wanted that for my child. Until now, okay, you have already heard from my current uncertainties if I want to do the 2. But we'll see, maybe some years later we'll come back and talk about what certainties did you opt to do, because this is life. We keep upgrading,
every day,
we keep changing.
certainties change, uncertainties become.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was really uncertain if I want to. When I got into the uncertainty, I was 0 or 2. But as you can see, finally I decided to have a child. If you didn't know, I have a child who's currently 3 months. I already said that, I think. Yeah. So
okay. What do you think is the reason why God, or if you decide it's the higher being, whoever you pray to or whoever you believe in, why do you think we don't get to see the big picture? Because I feel like if we are able to see the big picture of what your life is going to look like, if you move to if you travel to if you take an international trip with your child, that she's going to be healthy and nothing bad is going to happen, then you'll just go with the confidence, right?
Yeah.
And we are told that God loves us and all these things are working for our good, but then why are we uncertain? Why don't we see the big picture, the whole picture?
I think it's part of the process.
Okay.
Where I think that's how God operates. If He gave us like a manual, this is what your life looks like forever. And some people, to be honest, already know, but as I said, it can be uncertain. You're so certain about one area. For example, I'm so certain about my career, which is still something that you're trying to figure out. And and I'm so certain about, like, let's say my marriage situation, stuff like this. You can have some areas that things are very certain, but it can't be your whole life is certain. I don't think there's someone who is 100%. They have found certainty in all of their areas. I feel like one thing that we can embrace that can help us is being able to make a decision fast, fail fast, and do the correction or whatever thing you need to do. So if it is you trying to figure out your career, is you want to do freelance, the job is still there, it's still gonna be there. So you're not closing it necessarily. So you just do the freelance for that season, and then after that season, if it doesn't work out, oh, I need to go. If it doesn't work out, you finish it and you get back to your job, guys. See you in the future. So I don't know if you noticed, but we took a short break, and the thing is, while we were on the break, I thought about uncertainty in this way, that we are so into our heads that we think anything is certain in this life. And someone said the only certain thing you have in this life is the food you are eating, the one that's in your mouth.
And I thought it was the fact that you'll die.
No, but yes. So we live life with so much, like, we even forget what am I trying to say? Like, there's uncertainty. You could be certain right now. I could be certain right now I want 2 kids or 5 kids or whatever. And something happens tomorrow and that is not the case anymore. You could be certain about what you want for your, let's say, your career, and something happens and it disrupts that department very much. Anyway, I'm only just here to say that there will be so many uncertainties. We cannot fail to have uncertainties in our life, and regardless of that, it is us to trust the process and, deal with uncertainties.
Now, when it comes to uncertainty, according to me, I think where it stems from is how we don't have confidence in the long run, everything works out for our good. And sometimes we forget, because sometimes, yes, life can be tough, and we lose sight of how easy it is to move through life once that thing has been solved. So we forget how to move without necessarily knowing the whole picture, because we trust that once we know the whole picture, everything is going to work out. But in reality, we are promised that, and even just trusting the process, everything does work out for our good. Whatever it is that you're doing, eventually, if you put in the effort, if you put in everything that you need to put in, it eventually works out. So we forget that everything does work out. I guess we actually do have the whole picture, because if you have a dream, for example, if you have a dream to make a cup, you already can't see the vision, you know what you need to put in the work so that the cup can come to life. Now, if you start doubting, oh, if I use this, do it. The worst that could happen is, if the cup breaks after you make it, is you will make it with another material. So I guess what I'd say is we are given the big picture.
I actually do agree with you. The part that we are not necessarily given is maybe the steps. For example, I can tell you, if you even, let's go the Bible way, the promises have already been written in the Bible, and what we are and who we are is also written there. But the day-to-day steps, for example, we already are certain that we are beautiful, but it is not always the case. Every other day, we already told that He's gonna be with us in whatever thing we are doing and all these things, but it always does not come out in the same kind of way. Yes.
Okay, so what do you do when you're uncertain? How do you maneuver uncertainty and just do the process?
Okay. If there's something I learned greatly that I have taken up, that I think many millennials have been taught, and we talked about this some time back, is trust. No, we were taught to learn from other people's example, point one. And number two, having a mentor. And the good thing with mentorship nowadays, you don't have to go looking for a physical mentor. It can be through a platform like this one. Who are your
mentors?
Yes, it can. It can be something like that. Or it can be someone that you know directly. And also I like the aspect of mentors being mentors in that specific area of your life that you're looking to be mentored into that person. Because I believe not one person can fully satisfy all of your needs, including your partner.
That's true.
And I think this is a discussion we can have longer and break that down further.
Yeah,
But
actually, it's marriage versus expectations versus reality. Your partner cannot fulfill every part of you.
we really need to talk about
We
that
should,
one day.
yeah.
Anyway, so I was talking about those are actually 2 points in one. Having a mentor in that department and how they took that road. Did it have a dead end? And how did it go? Did it work out? For example, you want to be a freelance, you
Yeah.
can use my
I
life
am
to
a
give.
freelance, honey.
Oh, you are.
Yes.
You want to continue, you are
Yeah.
figuring out if you want to continue in that line, you can look into a mirror of someone who has already done the freelance and look into the mirror of someone who has done
Yeah.
the, what's called?
The career
Freelance
path
and
that
career
you're
path,
taking,
like
yeah.
professional 9 to 5 kind of. And then that can help you decide. Then the other option. So, for example, the one for uncertainty of kids, I really had a lot of discussion with people that already have kids and even those who have chosen to be children free. And that had a lot of impact on the decision of me to have a child. Like, yeah. Anyway, then the other point that I would say, oh, you have one before I share mine.
Yes, actually, it's just one, to be honest, because that's exactly how I live my life and why we started this channel in the first place,
Yeah.
is to talk. I think there's so much when you talk to someone, not even to someone, even journaling, you're talking to yourself, you're hearing your thought process, talk, and then have someone who's fact checking you. Fact checking meaning, for example, I believe in God, who is my ordainer of life. So I will talk to you who also has the same beliefs, and you'll remind me that it's not my job to be the one who is finishing everything to the end.
Yeah.
God also does perfect my ways. So having someone who's fact checking you and reminding you that you're not doing life alone, it helps a lot. So talking about my uncertainty and even coming to terms with the fact that I'm afraid that if I do this, it might fail. Coming to that level of humility and being gracious enough to yourself to say that I am a human being and this is where I'm at, it does like lift you up a lot, and you feel like, oh, I can actually do it. And if it fails, I will not be, it's the end of the world for me.
Yeah.
So honestly, just one, talk about it. And then not only talking to yourself, not journaling only, fact checking the truth, because our minds tend to lie to us about things that we are afraid of, and we feel like we cannot approach life. We cannot approach life because it's too much. But in reality, if you break it down, it is one step at a time.
So our third member said she cannot fail to appear on this episode, so you guys get an exclusive appearance of the queen. Anyway, so I wanted to ask you, okay, my extra bonus point of dealing with uncertainty is I find myself checking up with the Bible and what the Bible says. And right now, it's very easy to do like a quick search.
Yeah.
For example, I already searched about what does God have to say about kids? What is it to us and stuff like this. And the one that I saw was that kids are actually a crown to your parents. So yeah, and just some interesting
Wow.
factors. Yeah, I know, right? So that's something I would recommend that someone to consider. Now, I had a question for you.
Yes, please.
Because you are in the field of singlehood, transitioning to marriage after you find your partner. Hallelujah, she's still in the uncertainty of that. But can you address the uncertainty of someone not being certain of the person they are in a relationship with, if they should get married to?
Oh, I think if you're uncertain about the person that you're in a relationship with and it's somehow almost leading to marriage, I don't think you should get in the marriage establishment with the uncertainty.
Really?
Yes.
But
I think you should address it
Okay.
before you proceed on to say I do.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's going to be a fix once you're married. So for example, you're uncertain that your man is cheating on you. Why on earth would you settle with him? You need to figure out where the uncertainty is coming from. You're afraid that this will continue even if you do end up being in marriage with this person. So it's not going to change.
Yeah.
You need to address these things, basically.
I think for me, my bonus point, okay, I've not even given a point for me to give a bonus. I will say I think there is areas I'm trying to reflect on what if I had uncertainties before I got married, is address what those uncertainties are.
Yeah.
But and if it's something that's gonna affect you negatively, don't do it.
Yeah.
If it is something that can change or address those uncertainties, and as I said, go to the Bible and address those uncertainties. It could be extremes. It can even be, do I want to relocate? You know, it can be all those things. So address those things using the Bible. I think it's a good scripture.
Yeah.
And also read from people who have gone through a similar kind of looking story. For example, I was getting married to an African American. Just listening to another person married to an African American, what their experience is like.
It'll give you a different perspective.
And as you can see, it's been an interesting shoot. So you better subscribe if you haven't, and hit the like button. Let us know what you think in the comment section down below.
Yes,
Please
and
do the
as usual, if you have a problem with our point of view, take it up with the HR. You'll find us there because we are the HR. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share with other people so they may get insight on how to love themselves through uncertainty. Please don't allow fear to make you feel like you cannot achieve the things that you want to achieve.
Yes.
And even love the people that you want to love. So until next time, guys, bye.
You appeared again.
Hiya.
Again, baby. Again. You said, no, I cannot talk for an hour.
2 days in a row.
2 days
Back
in
to
a row.
back. Who are you guys?
Cut.
Do you guys know me?